Okay, so as a software tester, your main job is finding bugs, right? But what if you could do more? What if you could stop them from ever showing up in the first place? That's the real power of root cause analysis. It's a skill that transforms you from just a bug finder into a true quality champion. So often we get stuck in this cycle. We find a bug, a dev fixes it, we close the ticket. That's what we call a symptom fix. But then, a few weeks later, a bug that looks suspiciously similar pops right back up. The real goal, the game changer, is the root cause fix, where we figure out why the bug got in there to begin with so we can finally break that cycle for good. Think about it like this. Your app is a car. If that car breaks down, you could just patch the tire. But that's not going to do you much good if the engine is what actually failed, is it? A great tester doesn't just say, hey, the car stopped. They're the ones popping the hood to find out why. And this is exactly where the formal method for getting under that hood comes in. It's called root cause analysis, or RCA for short. And it's all about making that critical mindset shift, moving from just asking what broke to really understanding why it broke. Now, the key word in this definition is structured. RCA isn't just winging it or making educated guesses. Not at all. It's a systematic, evidence-based process for digging way past the obvious surface-level problem to find that foundational crack that allowed the issue to happen.
So for a tester, the whole process really boils down to this path. First, you investigate why the specific thing happened. Then you zoom out and you uncover what process was broken that even allowed it to happen. And finally, this is the best part, you define how to build a shield, a permanent fix, to make sure it can never, ever happen again. So, how do we actually do this investigation? Well, every good detective reads a toolkit, right? And when you're doing RCA, you've got some really powerful tools at your disposal to help you find the truth behind any bug.
One of the simplest yet seriously effective tools is the 5 whys. Just look at this example. We start with the symptom. A payment failed. Okay, but why? Well, the API returned an error. Okay, but why did it do that? Because it got data it didn't expect. See how we're peeling back the layers? By the time we get to the 5th why, we find the real culprit. A test case for this scenario was never even created. That's the root cause, a gap in our process. The 5 whys is fantastic for that kind of quick digging. It's like your go-to pocket knife. But for a more formal, complex investigation, you need more than just a question. You need a map. A map to guide you from the crime scene all the way to the solution. And here it is. This is your map. The RCA report. Now, don't think of this as boring paperwork. It's your guide. Each step forces you to be systematic. You have to clearly state the problem, lay out the timeline, gather your cold, hard evidence, identify the true root cause, and then, the grand finale, outline the actions that will solve this thing for good. Okay, theory is great, but let's see how this actually works in the real world. Let's take that failed promo code example and walk through a quick case study to see this whole workflow in action. First up, you've got to document the crime scene. And notice how specific this is. The problem statement isn't just, checkout fails. That's useless. It's the app version, the platform, the exact action the user took. And the evidence, a direct quote from the logs. You're building an airtight, fact-based case right from the start. So after analyzing all that evidence, we find the real culprit. You see, the symptom was the crash, the error. But the root cause? It was a combination punch. A flaky API response teamed up with a missing piece of defensive code that should have been there to handle it. And now we get to the most important step of all. This is the whole point. We don't just fix the one line of code. No way. We improve the entire system. We add a brand new test case to cover this specific blind spot. We update our device testing to catch more weird edge cases, and we even add monitoring to warn us automatically if this kind of thing starts happening again. This is how you build quality that lasts. And that right there, that leads to the real payoff. Because when you adopt this kind of mindset, you totally evolve. You go from being someone who just finds individual bugs to being a true champion for quality across your entire team, your entire organization. This is absolutely critical. For RCA to actually work, you have to have a no-blame culture. The goal is never, ever to point fingers at a developer or another tester. It's always a team effort to find the weaknesses in the process, in the tools, in the system itself, and make it stronger together. And this is where your value as a tester just explodes. As you do more of these RCAs, you'll start to see patterns. For instance, you might notice that a lot of random app crashes point back to device fragmentation. So your fix isn't just for one crash, it's to systematically expand your device testing to cover more ground. You start solving entire classes of problems, not just individual bugs.
And the impact? It's not just a feeling, it's measurable. In our promo code case study, this whole process took the checkout error rate from a disastrous 15%. Think about all those lost sales, all the way down to just 0.5%. That's a massive, tangible improvement that you, the tester, drove by looking past the symptom.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question. The next time you find a bug, what are you going to do? Will you just report the what and move on? Or will you be the one to grab your detective kit, follow the map, and make sure that an entire category of bugs is wiped out for good? The choice is yours.